What is up, my Swedish people? This is Shank. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. I went for a family trip. Dubai Gellanu, almost 8 days trip, but I took a complete break of almost 15 days. That's the reason it's been a while, 20-25 days anukunta, since I posted my last video. Koi baat nahi hai. In this video, I will gonna show you guys two of the super duper popular fragrances which are on my short list or a waist list or a wait list, whatever it can be said. Since last 9 months, I generally keep some budget for watches, some budget for fragrances, shoes, clothes, like whatever I wanted to buy, not the normal options which are slightly on the expensive side hota hai na. So for perfumes, I consider these are expensive only for my budget, but I bought them in the airport, duty free stores hota hai na. So I got both of them, some sort of a discount, more or less similar price points you get here in India as well. Yeah, Bleu de Chanel, it's not available here in majority of the sites. That's the reason like this is an absolute must buy in case if you go abroad or wherever you find it when you go abroad. I need some fresh perfumes to add to my collection, which should be super duper versatile, both in terms of the balanced notes, also in terms of the wearability. Means I can wear it during any time throughout the year, and if I am going to office, if I am going to a party, it should be applicable to each and every scenario. That's why I got both of them. And let me show you guys the Bleu de Chanel option first. This is from the Chanel. This is a 100 ml EDT. Yes, I got the EDT when compared to the EDP, not just because of the price. I smelled both of them and the price point is hardly like 2000 to 2500 rupees difference for a 100 ml bottle, which is not much. But why I preferred this particular option? Because of the projection. So the moment you spray this particular option, instantly you feel that grapefruit. Yes, that is most pronounced. Yes, it do have other notes as well, citrusy and grapefruits. I would say somewhere that lemonish smell, but more pronounced with the grapefruits. But after 10 to 15 minutes, that's where this particular perfume excels, because you do feel the nutmeg, the mid notes. After like 15 to 30 minutes only, you start feeling that nutmeg as it dries down. So that's where it is my favorite, because this is a day to night perfume. Means like the projection, because it's a EDD, the projection is like really great. And then because of its notes, morning you get that fresh feel. Once it dries down, you get that woody fragrances. So it's a best day to night fragrance irrespective of the season. For the humid conditions here we have, of course, these kind of fresh fragrances works well in terms of the packaging, in terms of the bottle. Not as fancy as the Dior Sauvage which you are gonna see, but this magnetic cap and the clean bottle. This is a super duper popular fragrance, and this started the trend of that blue fragrances lineup, the fresh fragrances. And many brands they do have since then the fresh aquatic fragrances with the citrusy opening and then dialing down to the woody fragrances at the base notes. So it's a super favorite of mine. If I have to nitpick the longevity, I expected more than 6 hours or so, but it's somewhere between that 4 to 6 hours. 4 to 6 hours. Or if the climate during the winter seasons, right now I'm getting a little bit more. EDP versions, I mean the perfume versions, you do get a little bit more because this is a EDT. The projection is more, but the longevity is slightly less. Now let's talk about the Dior Sauvage. Yes, it's available here as well at discounted price points, not by much. 10% here and there you do get. This is almost the #1 bestseller among all the sites. In case if you want the best of the both worlds, both in terms of the packaging, how the bottle looks, the magnetic closure, even the Bleu de Chanel have it, but the Dior logo, how it has been made, everything along with the fragrance, of course, this has to be the top notch. Yes, that's why it's super duper popular. Here in this version, I didn't get the EDT. I got the EDP. They do have the elixir version as well, because as I mentioned earlier, I wanted the balanced notes. I don't want super light nor super strong fragrances. When I tested the EDP version of this, the moment I sprayed, there is more peppery kind of a fragrance at the top notes. It does have too much of pepper, very strong top notes, which I didn't like. And the projection was, obviously it's a EDT, the projection was great, but I want slightly toned down version of that. That's the reason I got that EDP one. Yes, longevity I would get better, slightly pricey when compared to the EDT version, but I like the EDP here. In the Bleu de Chanel, I like the EDT more than the EDP because that excels there. This one, it's the opposite, the Dior Sauvage. Again, this is also a all-rounder versatile fragrance, irrespective of whatever the type of scenarios, whatever the type of climate, most often than not, it works for the majority of the scenarios. And one more thing I liked among these two fragrances, this one is even better, but both of them are superb, is in terms of this atomizer, the pressurized atomizer here. Once you press it, I have the Tom Ford option, I have the Hugo Boss option. Hugo Boss is pathetic in terms of how it sprays it. It doesn't atomize only properly. This one, see here, it atomizes perfectly. See the spray, it atomizes fantastic. So the spray is better and you do get the perfect quality. So this one, immediately you have that fresh citrusy pepper notes. Once it starts to dial down a bit into that mid and base notes, somewhere that powdery woody smell would be there, right? It dialed down into that fragrance, but the first half an hour to 45 minutes, you do get the strong citrusy pepper notes, which smells absolutely fantastic. That's why I wanted to add one into my collection. 9,500 after this taxes, I think so. So it's a good deal. Here in India, maybe like both of them would cost somewhere around 26,000 or so. I got both of them somewhere at the price point of 19 to 20,000. That's a good price point for both of them. And these are the must-haves in your fragrance collection, only if you have the budget and in case if you are eyeing for these kind of fragrances. Or else, if you want a fresh fragrance with slightly lesser projection and 2 hours to 3 hours longevity, I think Nautica Voyage, and there are many Bella Vita fragrances and Beardo fragrances, Wildstone fragrances, and also the Zara fragrance. In case आपके पास कम budget है, never mind, spray it 3 or 4 times. 300 rupees or 500 rupees bottle, 4 बार और 5 बार use करो in a day. ठीक है ना, rather than spending 12,000 or 13,000. So don't fall into the trap that you need these kind of fragrances to smell good. Yes, the smelling factor of slightly uniqueness and smelling good, it's addictive. Yeah, but don't buy anything just to get compliments. That's not the essence. For the fragrance, at least for me, my perception is that I should feel good wearing that fragrance. I should feel confident. The thing is that I should feel pleasant and I should like that smell. That gives me the best feeling. That's why I invest in the fragrances. And having said that, all the budget alternatives and also the similar fragrances or the same fragrances, if they're available, I will make sure that all the links will be there in the description below, because there is an Amazon beauty sale it's going on right now, and majority of the fragrance, in case if you don't want this one, YSL option, there is a fresh fragrance, or Paco Rabanne, you have different fresh fragrances, or else if you want the sweet spicy fragrances, you have the Paco Rabanne 1 million, or maybe JPG, Elixir, La Melo Elixir is there. So you do have different date fragrances, you do have different fresh fragrances as well. You can go with Salvatore Ferragamo. So there are many fresh fragrances available at that 4,000, 5,000 rupees price points, in case if you do feel that 10,000 for a fresh fragrance, it's a bit too much. There are other alternatives as well. I'll make sure that all of them from Amazon are listed down below. Having said that, आपको वीडियो पसंद आ गया नहीं आ गया, कमेंट सेक्शन में अपने